Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2025 GT Series Malaysia, the second season of the GT Series Malaysia series, but the first ever season with 10 teams, 20 drivers and 2 category. The 2 category that is new, which is GT Super and GT Sport. GT Sport is same regulation like GT Super, using the same engine, and some of the engine is only allowed for only GT Sports. And what can I say is that GT Sport is not as fast as GT Super. Maybe some of the car will have the same speed as GT Super, but GT Super will be much faster because most of the driver in the GT Super are all a very fast driver, very good driver. And I'm not gonna say that GT Sport driver is not as good as GT Super. They are also good, but they just join with whatever deal that they got from any team. So first of all, let's look out at the calendar, and the first round will be at the Vancouver GP, a pretty big track, a lot of corners and long straight with a sharp hairpin and a good opportunity of overtaking there. And the second round we have the Nordwig GP, a pretty short track for all of the driver to go through, and I can say that the weather there is really nice. And the next one we have Mexico GP, a pretty challenging track too, full of dust, a lot of fast corner and a sharp one, and pretty long straight, a lot of overtaking opportunity. Next one we have the Miami GP. The track layout for this track is pretty much like a sharp corner, and then the next one is the long straight and another long straight. And lastly we have Dubai GP. Dubai GP, I can say, also with a challenge of the dusty track like the Mexico GP, and pretty challenging track for all of our competitors in the GT Series Malaysia. Alright, without further ado now, let's introduce you guys to our GT Sports team and driver. First of all, we have here is the 1XOX team, the team from the past GT Series Malaysia from 2 years ago, with 2 of the drivers, which is Albino Irfan and Zarina Dino. Both of them are, what can I say, is an average skill driver, and the team are using the engine called Porsche Prototype 992. Most of the team will be using a manufacturer engine, and the regulation for this season is that all of the manufacturer will be using a prototype engine, not a road car engine, but a prototype engine designed specially for the GT Racing in the GT Series Malaysia. Next up we have the team JMR, the team from Johor. This team, we have 2 of the graduate from the Mavi Kadi Academy, which is Zuhairah Amani and Ninie Ismail. The team JMR will be using the Mercedes engine, which is AMG 15 prototype. So the next one, also the same team that is using a Mercedes engine, which is the Petronas team. Also, both of the driver, the graduate from the Mavi Kadi Academy, which is Uzair Ukiyo and Alif Danial. Next up, we have the Aston Martin. Aston Martin will be using also the prototype engine, which is a prototype AMR1. And the driver here is a little bit special because we have Shafiq Roslan from the GT Series Malaysia, the past GT Series Malaysia, and also the graduate of the PHB Racing Academy, Alif Danial. Next up, we have the Corvette team, which is using the engine of the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, which is not a road car, but they are named after the road car itself. It is still a prototype. The driver is also from the past GT Series Malaysia, Herman Ibrahim, and also a graduate of the PHB Academy, Kiki Ijan. Next up, we have Mavi Kadi, the team that is from the GT Series Malaysia Academy Series, and they still have 2 of the Academy drivers, which is Hanako Liu and Chanel Shazwan. From the GT Academy series that we seen before, Hanako Liu performance is not that great, but Chanel Shazwan, we can see a hope from Chanel, which can get a podium. But I don't know about this GT Sports category because they are mixed with the past GT Series Malaysia driver, which is really good and the rating is really high. But who knows? All luck and miracle are on them. It depends on their luck. So next up we have Toyota Gazoo Racing. The team will be using their own engine, own manufactured prototype engine called GR10 with the 5-star OG GT Series Malaysia driver Aidil Buhamil and also Hazwan Mikael. Next up we have the GMK48. Also will be using the Toyota engine with two of the PHB Academy driver Haris Rayyan and Alif Ramdan. Next up we have Khairul Racing, the team that will be using a Honda manufacturer engine and the only team that will be using a Honda engine called a prototype called NS024 with the two Mavi KD Academy graduate Khairul Izany and Rayyan Rafiqi. Next up we have the two Mavi KD graduate driver, which is Naufal Ayman and Kasih Batrisha. They both will be driving for Monster Energy, and what can I say? Monster Energy will be using a Porsche engine too, which is a prototype called 992. And I forgot to remind you guys that Mavi KD will also use the Porsche engine, a 992 prototype engine. Next up, we will be moving to the GT Super category here. We have the first team that will be introduced is the BMW Racing. BMW Racing will be using their own manufacturer engine, which is a prototype called M4. And the two of the OG GT Series Malaysia driver, we have Alif Danial and Ediee Ghazali. Both of them will be driving for the BMW. I don't know about their performance, but we will see when the season starts. Next up, we have JMK48 team, which also will be using the M4 engine from the BMW Racing, and with two graduates of the PHB Academy, Naqib Udin and Syafieq Adam. The two PHB Academy graduates will be racing again with each other to fight for the win. Next up we have Monster Energy. The Monster Energy will be using Porsche 992 prototype engine, and the only GT Super category team that is using the Porsche car. Next up we have the Shimizu, a driver from the team from the past GT Series Malaysia, with also two of the old driver Hanif Rofi and the eldest driver in the grid Muhammad Hasbullah Aziz. A pretty old driver to race on the Malaysia, but well, if he decide to give it a shot, then let him be. Because no matter how old he is or how young he is, if he had the skill on it, then he'll burn it down. Next up we have the Shell Racing. Shell Racing will be using their own engine, which is a Ferrari F20 prototype engine, with the two of the Mavi KD graduate driver Ariadhna Salleh, the champion of the Academy Series, and also Zachary Wong, two of the really performance driver from the GT Series Malaysia Academy Series. Next up we have the Team JMR, same like the GT Sport Series. Team JMR from Johor will be using the Mercedes AMG 15 prototype engine, and with the two brothers from the old GT Series Malaysia, Tengku Badrul Samid and Tengku Hazrul Samid, two of the really performance driver from the old series. Well, can they got it? Can they beat everyone in this season? Well, I don't know. Next up we have also a Mercedes AMG 15 prototype engine user, the Petronas team, with two of the old GT Series Malaysia driver Hazrul Naim and also Rizal Ismail. Both of them also raced in the Petronas team before. Next up we have the Lamborghini. A pretty expensive engine for this kind of car. Lamborghini will be using their own engine of SC6, the prototype engine, with the two of the driver Danial Sarimuddin and Sofi Sabri. One of the team that will be using the Lamborghini engine is the Excel Sport, with the two of the old driver Jeremy Kamaruzaman and Rudy Fazli, a pretty skillful driver from the old GT Series Malaysia, but can they perform? I don't know. Axel Sport has been in GT Series Malaysia for a long time with like 1XX, Monster, and they are also from the old GT Series Malaysia. And lastly, we have the first ever debut of the car that never appeared before, which is the Mclaren. Mclaren making the debut for the GT Series Malaysia with also their own engine manufacturer, which is the MC72 prototype, and with also two of the old driver Badrul Yassin and also Andy Muhammad. These two underdogs from the old series will be performing for McLaren for the new GT Series Malaysia. Well, that's all for the teams and driver introduction. Race is coming up this Saturday. Who will be the winner of the first round of the season? Well, it all comes down to this Sunday. Well, thank you very much everyone for watching, and I will see you guys this Saturday for the first round of the GT Series Malaysia. See you there.